From the murky waters of the sportsman's paradise, stories emerge. Stories of the generations of people who have shared in the bounties of the land. Stories of communities that have persevered through natural disasters. Stories of the abundance of fish, wildlife, and adventures that create an ecosystem rich in diversity. And from the silted banks of the mighty Mississippi to the soggy marsh bottoms, from the tops of towering pine forests to the depths of the salty Gulf, human and animal have shared this fortune for centuries. Enjoy these stories as told by outdoor journalists who travel across our state, documenting the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
Welcome to Bayou Wild. I'm Martha Spencer here with Don Dubuque. We're at Morton Seafood Restaurant in Madisonville. It's September, so we're talking everything alligators. We went out, we went hunting them, we ate them, we even hatched them. We start first, though, at Instigator Ranch, where we see them raised, hatched, and even distributed.
But we're open throughout the year, and you'll see hundreds of alligators at Instigator Ranch, and you'll see every size of alligator from newborn babies in August on up to 6-7-year-old alligators that could be as big as 9 feet.
Now, right after our trip to the Instigator, we take you out into the wilds of Carnarvon, because there's really two separate entities when you're talking about alligators. You've got the commercial and the ranching aspect, and then you've got the wild stocks, and we're going to take you right to the heart of it.
Willow trees, and alligators really like to lay up under willow trees. And so we try to pick a spot where you know, not just catch an alligator, but you can harvest the alligator. So we look for spots that are a little bit open, you know, hanging limbs, which you can set from, and places where an alligator might lay in the sun. That's what we're looking for, but not target any place that you think it's going to be.
We're going down to Carnarvon to hunt some gators.
And then when we come back,
Tommy Satanovich over at Drago's in Metairie, we're going to cook up some gator for a delicious recipe.
Literally, we load it up with a little bit of seasoning here, and now we just, you know, just like most seafood, you don't want to overcook your alligator. You want, you know, once you start overcooking seafood, I don't care if it's shrimp, I don't care if it's oysters or fish, you start overcooking it, it dries it out a lot, because there's a lot of moisture, and that's what makes it, whether it's shrimp or fish or oysters, that's what makes it a little tastier, is that flavor and that, you know, that moisture that's naturally built into their meat.
closed captioning made possible by Ceto.com. Become a member. The Louisiana Wildfowl Festival is coming to the Castine Center at Mandeville's Pelican Park. On display will be over 2,000 hand-carved and collected decoys and other stunning wildlife by world champion carvers. Compare your favorites with judges awarding over $40,000 in prizes. Appreciate and purchase through Sunday's auction outstanding wildlife and wildfowl art. See live decoy carving and painting at the Louisiana Wildfowl Festival at the Castine Center in Mandeville. Complete details at LWCCG.com. Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because the flavor is so good.
It has more garlic, onion, paprika, lemon, and not too much salt.
It has much better flavor.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time. If you're lucky enough to bag a deer or a hog this season, bring it here to Double D. Double D processes hogs and exotic game and guarantees your product is always the meat you brought to Double D.
Double D Meats in Bogalusa, home of country smoked, spicy jalapeno cheddar, and other customized flavors.
Bring your deer or your hog here to Double D, where you always get your meat back in return. It's worth a drive to Bogalusa from anywhere. Double D.
Louisiana outdoor history has no shortage of stories of resilience. One that may top the list is the American alligator. Several states have embraced the symbol of the alligator, with Florida, Mississippi, and Louisiana all laying claim as their official state reptile. The gator fascinates all ages, attracting people from across the globe into swamps and marshes just to get an up-close glimpse of this prehistoric predator of the South.
They can get to be, according to some records, 19 feet 2 inches. The biggest alligator ever found in the state of Louisiana was by E.A. McElhenney, and it was 19 feet 2 inches. That may be a contentious deal there, but that's the bottom line for what Louisiana claims.
One of our most common questions are we going to see an alligator? We get people from the entire world, from Europe, all over New Zealand. We get people from everywhere that visit us, a lot from the West Coast here, New York, from everywhere.
But there was a time just a half-century ago when the alligator species was in jeopardy. In the early to mid-1900s, trapping and over-harvesting led to near extinction. The species wound up in the Endangered Species Act of 1973, which halted harvest and trapping and challenged biologists to find a way to save the population. That effort would take over a decade. We're here in downtown Ponchatoula, where you can see one of the many alligators in Louisiana in captivity. Old Hardhide lives here right off the main drag on Highway 22. But just 20 minutes from here, you can head over to Instigator Farms, where you can actually see all different size alligators and get really hands-on.
Well, we started Instigator Ranch in 2001. We started the farm in 1989. And what we do now is we raise alligators as well as do tours. But we're open throughout the year, and you'll see hundreds of alligators at Instigator Ranch, and you'll see every size of alligator from newborn babies in August on up to 6-7-year-old alligators that could be as big as 9 feet.
At Instigator Ranch, you'll not only get to see and touch alligators, but also get an in-depth look into their life cycle.
The raising of alligators requires us to go out into the marsh and harvest eggs, and we incubate those eggs here. And then we raise those alligators to varying sizes. The ranchers in Louisiana raise them to about 4 to 5 feet. Because we do tours, we raise them larger. So we have alligators as big as 9 feet here.
I lived in Florida, I lived in South Carolina, and I've lived in Louisiana now for several years. I've seen a lot of alligators, but a lot of folks even in New Orleans have never really seen a full alligator. They may look small when you see the head if you're out in the marsh on a swamp tour, but you're in dirty water. If you come here to Instigator, you can see them in the ponds. Clear water, and you really get to appreciate how big they are. You'll also learn that alligators aren't always as threatening as many believe.
No one in the state of Louisiana has ever been killed by an alligator, and we have more alligators in the state of Louisiana than there are in the entire rest of the world combined.
So we ever so carefully and rather quickly pull back to reveal the eggs.
Well, Mama Alligator tends to be around the nest with some regularity. She's oftentimes not there. I'd say 10% of the time we run into Mama Alligator.
For gator farmers, it's rewarding to share their knowledge of alligators with others, but it also pays to raise a healthy gator. Years of study have taught ranchers just how vulnerable life can be in those early stages.
An average nest is probably 30 eggs, 25 to 30. Some of them are infertile. So the survival rate in the wild is believed to be somewhere around 50% of the nest. Once they hatch, the survival rate is very, very bad. Everything eats baby alligators. So the population of alligators is basically decimated at a young age. So those 30 eggs that are laid in the nest usually turn into about 2 eggs that grow to become a 4-foot alligator.
Now we can get it. It's okay.
This is really an outing for everyone. It's geared for the little kids, it's geared for the moms and dads, and even the grandparents can come together and share in this. And what a wonderful experience it is. It's a learning experience. Kids go away, you get great pictures, and you know, it's something just wonderful to do for the whole family. Got a little gift shop, you can pick up a souvenir and tell all your friends and relatives about what a great time you had at Instigator.
If you've ever been to the aquarium in New Orleans, you may have seen the white alligator. There's actually 2 types of white alligators, the leucistic and the albino. Albino means no pigment, that's why you see the red eyes that they have. But even more rare than that, check out this white and black alligator. She's actually 1 in 85,000 that you'll actually get to see one like that. What's also fascinating about farm-raised alligators is how ranchers learn the effects of temperature on their population and sex.
Between the 10th and the 24th day of incubation, the egg being maintained at 92 degrees can produce nearly all males. If the egg is maintained during that time frame at about 86 degrees, it produces nearly all females. But if you incubate that same egg at 89 degrees, you will produce a mixture of males and females, but those males and females at that temperature will grow faster than their 92 or their 86 degree counterpart. So there's really no one out there that's trying to produce males or trying to produce females or trying to produce the fastest growing alligator that they can.
The highlight of a visit to Instigator Ranch is not the hundreds of gators you can see, hold, and feed, but rather experiencing the first moments of an alligator's life outside the egg.
We know they're ready to hatch because the babies actually inside of the nest and inside of the egg start to chirp.
Yes.
You can hear them.
We carefully reach in without allowing that alligator to get out. We put our finger and thumb over the ends of the egg, which is where they come out, and we place that alligator in your hand.
There you go. You've been in there for 63 days. You think you'd be in a hurry to get out. From the seeds grow the mighty oak, and the same thing goes for Louisiana's most famous reptile.
We were informed that it could take a little time. Some of them could be a little sluggish, and the few eggs that I saw before mine really needed a little coaxing, but apparently I had a real strong alligator. He was ready to go and meet the world. He came out in about 5 seconds. This one's got spunk. He came out pretty quick. I think he's gonna go far in line.
That was the first time I was ever an alligator midwife, I gotta tell you that. But really, that is the highlight of the trip here and the tour at Instigator, is the hatching of the alligators. Because you can go out, you can see alligators full grown, you can see them smaller, you can even see babies. But to be there at the moment of birth, when they come out of that egg and they look around at this great big world, what a thrill that is, and they make it possible here.
Don't squeeze. That's mine over there. Happy birthday!
A little hand.
Yeah, I don't feel like over that.
The comeback of the alligator is the greatest conservation story known to mankind. And coming up next,
I think the wildlife and fisheries determined years ago, long before alligators, that the best way to protect species of animals is to hunt them, believe it or not. It's the hunters who fund the protection program for the individual animals that they hunt.
All parishes are open. It's a season in September. It's a sustainable harvest. The idea of that season is to be able to use the resource while not depleting the population. So ever since the alligator program was started, the alligator population has either stayed stable or increased.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade. And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
here's how I guarantee my crawfish taste great every time. I use what the pros use. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because, guys, it has more herbs and spices.
It has a much better flavor.
It's easy, just pour and boil.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
If you hunt or fish, you really need to check out 20echo.com. It's an app that you can take on the water or on the hunt. It logs all the information. It's got the date, the GPS location, tons of information to log your catch or kill. It's a great thing to have. Check it out at 20echo.com and you'll see it more on Bayou Wild TV.
The American alligator is proof of how a great conservation effort, coupled with highly regulated hunting practices, can allow a species to thrive. Alligator ranchers raise gators from birth to maturity, mainly to sell their hides and meat for profit. But a percentage of farm-raised gators are released back into the wild each year.
Well, the Wildlife and Fisheries requires that we return 10% of those alligators that we hatch back to the wild in the form of a 4-foot alligator. And today we have 700,000 alligators in captivity and over 3 million alligators in the marshes of Louisiana.
In recent years, popular TV shows have made alligator hunting a widely sought-after sport. While it can be an enjoyable way to spend the day in the South Louisiana marsh, a gator hunt isn't nearly as dramatic as most people expect, but it is fun.
It's a lot of fun. Look forward to it. Just like other hunters, look forward to the duck season, look forward to alligator season. Yeah, the prices are bad. A lot of guys aren't doing it. We're killing a lot less now than we normally kill during the alligator season, but I guess it's just a rite of passage.
He gone.
One down. Unless you're a permitted nuisance trapper, alligator hunting is a closely monitored and regulated season. The Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries issues tags based on location and population, which allows them to keep track of the number of gators that are harvested each year. There are 2 different ways a hunter can acquire tags to hunt during a Louisiana alligator season.
Well, the landowner really owns the alligators, so the landowner gets the tags, and we kill for the landowner, pay the landowner commission, and the tags are allotted by the acreage and by the habitat type.
Whoa, he's ready.
He gone.
Another way for a hunter to acquire gator hunting tags is taking advantage of the thousands of acres of public land that is accessible in Louisiana.
Once you figure out where you want to fish, you go and look in one of the 3 applications that we have online. Choose the one that has that area that you want to fish and fill out the form completely. They have to be in by early July, and usually by the end of July you'll figure out if you want or not. And we'll teach you about all the regulations, we'll teach you about how to fish, what's going to be required of you, and when you can go and how you can do it.
With over 40 public areas across the state, the Alligator Lottery program is a great way to give residents more opportunity to enjoy hunting. For a non-resident, hunting alligators is only allowed when accompanied by a licensed guide with tags.
And so we try to pick a spot where you not just catch an alligator, but you can harvest the alligator. So we look for spots that are a little bit open, hanging limbs, which you can set from, and places where an alligator might lay in the sun. That's what we're looking for, but not target any place that you think is going to be a lot of difficulty getting the alligator out.
We do not require you to have a certain level of knowledge of alligator hunting, but we do urge everybody to research it and try to find somebody to go with you that knows what they're doing. You have to be 16 years old to apply. You would probably like to have a boat or someone who has a boat for you to go out and go do it. I would suggest to try to figure out all that stuff beforehand before even applying. Every tag, whether it's used or unused, is accounted for, and we give you a 30-day period after the season ends to try to get all that stuff together and get it in. And after that, we're going to start sending you letters trying to figure out where those tags are.
Most people believe that only the tail meat of the alligator is used, but in reality, no part of an alligator goes to waste.
Pretty much use everything on them, especially the meat. Use all parts of the alligator now, not just the tails, but the legs also. So we sell them whole, and buyers do whatever they can with every single part of the alligator.
The comeback of the American alligator is a 3-fold success story. First, credit is given to our state's biologists for implementing a successful plan to repopulate. Second, credit goes to commercial ranchers, whose business keeps the population climbing. And third, to the hunters, who maintain the population and return crucial data back with each year's harvest. Here's how I guarantee my crawfish taste great every time. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because the flavor is so good.
It has more garlic, onion, paprika, lemon, and not too much salt.
It has much better flavor.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Find out if alternative treatment is the answer to your pet's health issues. Contact Dr. G at vetnaturally.com.
The Louisiana Wildfowl Festival is coming to the Castine Center at Mandeville's Pelican Park. On display will be over 2,000 hand-carved and collected decoys and other stunning wildlife by world champion carvers. Compare your favorites with judges awarding over $40,000 in prizes. Appreciate and purchase through Sunday's auction outstanding wildlife and wildfowl art. See live decoy carving and painting at the Louisiana Wildfowl Festival at the Castine Center in Mandeville. Complete details at LWCCG.com. Well, the highly controlled and permitted wild alligator season is underway in Louisiana, and if you're lucky enough to get you some gator, or if not, you can purchase some from a farm. We got a great recipe for you because alligator season is kind of on the edge of summer and it's still kind of warm. Alligator tacos is a great dish. We're here with Tommy Satanovich in the kitchen at Drago's restaurant. Tommy, tell us how to prepare a gator taco.
Well, first thing, we're not going to charbroil it, okay? Like we do like the oysters and everything else. And literally, it's real. It's as simple as it comes. We take the pieces of alligator, just put it on a lightly oiled flat or a little skillet, spread it out. All we use is, I mean, you can use any type of redfish seasoning or blackened seasoning. We happen to use Magic seasoning here. I love the brand. No sense in trying to reinvent the wheel. Chef Prudhomme did a great job with his seasoning. Literally, we load it up with a little bit of seasoning here. And now we just, you know, just like most seafood, you don't want to overcook your alligator. Once you start overcooking seafood, I don't care if it's shrimp, I don't care if it's oysters or fish, you start overcooking it, it dries it out a lot because there's a lot of moisture, and that's what makes it, whether it's shrimp or fish or oysters, that's what makes it a little tastier, is that flavor and that, you know, that moisture that's naturally built into their meat. We're just taking regular tortilla shells.
I'm sure a lot of people have a misconception about alligator. They think they see the animal and it's overwhelming and it looks kind of ferocious. What about the meat? Does it have a strong?
Well, let me tell you about that. I've never had an alligator come to my house and mess with me, so I don't go to mess with them in the swamp.
I got you.
But we use a farm-raised alligator, and I tell people, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't taste like chicken, but it doesn't taste like fish. The texture and the taste is kind of a combination of fried fish and fried, you know, and a chicken breast. It's like a white meat. It's got a very, very clean taste. It doesn't have a game, unlike wild alligator, it does not have a gamey taste. It's a very clean meat, very, very simple. I mean, you can see this stuff's almost done here.
Yeah,
and we're literally, you know, less than a minute on the grill here. And you know, we just make sure we get it going. And it is, this is really, you know, we're going to keep it on the grill just a hair longer, just because what I want to do is I want to make sure the thick pieces, you know, cook all the way through. We're just heating up the tortilla just a little bit, as you would with any type of, man, those oysters look good over there, huh?
Yeah, they're going too.
Yeah. So
alligator and oysters, it's a good combination.
It's a great combination. Is there anything better, you know? And you know, a neat thing too, we always talk about not eating meat on Friday, especially during Lent. Well, the Archbishop says that is not meat. We can eat meat. We can eat alligator during Fridays in Lent. So that's good. And I believe it is a seafood. So basically, not much to this. Literally, we're going to take the tortillas one at a time, put them in our little stand here. We make a little bit of a Cajun Aioli. Basically, this is a little bit of mayo with peppers and a little bit of honey and a little bit of a cane syrup. So it's a sweet and spicy type of aioli.
Sell that?
No, we don't sell this. This is what we make in-house. We sell the oysters, yeah. But really, really good. We're going to take and put a little bit of arugula in here. I got to tell you, I like arugula because it's a green, so you get the crunch from it, and it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a spicy type of green. Take a little bit of pico on top of each. And now literally, we just take the alligator right on top. Dude, this is really simple. We'd take a little bit more, I'm like a sloppy roast beef guy. It's not good unless it's dripping down your arm while you're eating it. And basically, alligator tacos.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, ready to eat.
And grilled oysters next door.
And oysters right next door. Nothing to it. And something that's really good at Drago's that is not charbroiled. Man, you ought to try that. That's delicious.
I'm going to try that.
How about that for a mixture of flavors, huh?
Very good. You can dine on Drago's Alligator Tacos here at the Metairie store or in New Orleans. Good alligator hunting and good alligator eating.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade. And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use what the pros use. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because, guys, it has more herbs and spices.
It has a much better flavor.
It's easy, just pour and boil.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
Boy, alligator meat sure is good. All right, well, we've been running our alligator contest for the past month or so, and now we have our winners. We have two. We have a tie, actually, because we had so many great submissions. The first winner is Gage Richard from Creole, Louisiana. He had 50 tags, and they filled them all in just 2 days.
That's a lot of
Congratulations. And our runner-up winner is Bubba Tate. He's only about 3 years old, and he's been waiting for a long time to go on his first gator hunt with his dad. Carrie Tate, his mom, submitted the picture, and she showed one with his little stuffed gator and one with his first alligator. So
And they're
congrats
up
to
from
him.
Franklinton area.
That's right. So congrats to both of them. We'll have more contests coming up.
Yes, we will. So be watching for them. Now, next week on our menu, shrimp and catfish.
Can't go wrong.
We go catfishing with the crappie psychic. He puts his crappie gear down, breaks out the catfish, and we go on a shrimp tour with George Barasich.
It was a lot of fun. My first time shrimping, and boy, those shrimp were good. They work really hard on those shrimp boats.
An overnight trip, you leave in the afternoon, we drag all night, catch a few shrimp, you eat on the boat, you get to see the sun go down, sleep, you can take the wheel, you can cook, it's your choice. I usually cook a Croatian shrimp stew that night, and then next morning we'll jump in the bayou where we was at today. Sometimes you slam them in the bayou. Then we come on home, we eat breakfast, everybody gets a percentage of the catch.
And you all have been waiting for a really long time. We've been working hard trying to get our online store open for Bayou Wild shirts. We now have our short sleeve t-shirts. They're really soft for sale. We also have a long sleeve tech shirt that you've seen in various episodes. You can go to shopsft.com. That's our distributor. And you can pick up your Bayou Wild shirts there so that you can wear those out representing all things outdoors.
Hats aren't there yet, but they're on the way along with the visors.
Shopsft.com for all the information. It's also on our Facebook page. You can check that out, and Instagram, and all our episodes are on YouTube. We'll see you next week.